if we talk specifically to the people who are not in the program, and try and give them some understanding, of some of the things that you've done here in the program. I mean, we've spoken about how we did the meditation, and you changed your physical activity levels in a certain way, and you're doing some of these brain training techniques and some of these meditation techniques. I mean, like we said earlier, these are all things that you've kind of already been doing. Yeah. I mean, how can they understand that it could be different now? I mean, I'm just wondering, how would you try and explain it to them? What you were doing and I wonder almost, is there anything you can share about how they can change their approach, even if they don't go into the program, that can perhaps make a difference? These are big questions, to ask.
Yeah, it's a big question, but I think there are answers. I think that for me, the meditation was paramount.
Yeah.
That 45 minutes of silent meditation was paramount to me. The breathing techniques as part of the meditation, breathing and allowing myself to do meditation without feeling like, because some people try meditation. I've had people say, I tried meditation, it didn't work. And it's kind of laughable to me because it's a practice. You do it forever. You don't try it and fail, right? It isn't about stopping your brain from thinking. It's about sometimes examining what it is that you're thinking about, but it's also about just going inward, returning to the breath, just thinking about your own breathing pattern to allow your body to settle down. We need that, especially with this disease. We need our autonomic nervous system to just settle down. So to me, that was a huge part of this, setting the platform.
Yeah, and it was about understanding how it was connected to the root issue and why it was helpful, that motivated you to commit to the practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was something in the program where you talked about that the body wants to find homeostasis. The body is good at finding homeostasis. That stuck with me. And so everything that I did, I kept in mind that idea that what I'm doing, my actions are only augmenting the body's process in order for it to find homeostasis. I'm just helping it along. In fact, I printed that statement out about the supplements that I take, that you talk about in your program, that, these are, I'm only taking these to help my body find its own homeostasis. I printed that verbiage out and I put it everywhere in my house where I had supplements. And every time I went to take them, I would read that out loud because I felt like it was important for those words to be heard by my ears, to go into my brain, for my brain to say, okay, body, we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You sound like you really focused on doing some good self-care.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was that hard to do? I mean, after, I don't know, words like self-loathing come up often with people when they have experienced this illness for a long time. And what an awful thing to say, I mean.
Yeah, I was pretty self-deprecating. I was constantly, if not just to myself in the mirror, to other people, I would put myself down and minimize my abilities. And I think it was a coping mechanism too. If I say it first, you can't say it. You can't beat me to it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So
like an excuse, isn't it? It's like it's like an excuse.
Yeah.
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
Up to scratch, but this is how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But after that many years of living it, you do believe it, and it is true at some point. It does feel true. So I think self-care was definitely important. I think I said I lost both parents, so I spent 3 years taking care of both of my parents and running their household while I was sick. After the Lyme treatment, so I was a little bit better, but I was on call 24/7 for 3 years. If the phone rang, I would freak out. I had PTSD from that, no doubt. So after that, after they passed and I moved and this program came up, I decided my life is going to be about me for however long it takes me to get through this program, because I am no good to anybody if I can't do this. I have to do this. Yeah.
Good for you. Must have felt
and it's
weird to be kind and loving to you suddenly. I mean, did it feel weird?
Yeah. It is really difficult because in my career choices, I'm a giving person too. I'm the person people call when they have a problem. My neighbor just said to me, "You're so easy to talk to. I feel like I can tell you anything." And that's who I am. So it's really challenging for me to give myself a hug for a change and say no to people and pick and choose what kinds of things I want to focus on. Right now, I want to focus on myself. I want to be selfish. I said those words to my husband. I want to be selfish for a little while.
Yeah, and feel good about it. Good for
yes.
you. Let me ask you another question. Well, let me ask you, what do you think was the most important part of your recovery? You mentioned the meditation. Would you say that was it? Or was it some of the things that we were just talking about then?
No, I think the meditation set the stage for me to be a good receptacle of the rest of the program. I think the ANS rewiring was the key for me.
The rewiring, okay.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Definitely. Yeah. That was the big missing element from what I had been doing, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
How important do you think with all the different things, I mean, the rewiring, it's kind of pervasive. It puts all the strategies into context. So you're already doing exercise, pacing, all these different things, supplements, but now it's like the rewiring, and the program gives you distinctions on all of those things, which can be rewiring distinctions, but they can be other distinctions too, can't they?
Yes.
Did you think that was a big part of did you, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm wondering, did you find as you were listening to the program that those were like light bulb moments? Did you find when you made those little adjustments and those little distinctions in your approach, was that a big deal, or was it more the big chunks that mattered?
No, I think rewiring actually taught me a lot about myself, about my process for coping with things, just in general. And it wasn't really who I wanted to be. So it showed me that, that was very helpful. It helped me learn how to better approach other parts of my life, especially activities. I can now go to an activity, like I said, with joy and excitement, and not have all of those other thoughts come up.
The trepidation and all that, yeah.
I went on a hike recently with some friends, and at the parking lot, it was a long drive to get there, about an hour and a half, and I got out of the car and was gathering my things, and I realized this is the first time I've gone on an activity in decades where the only feeling I'm having right now is sheer excitement. I am excited like a little kid.
Isn't that awesome?
And I hadn't experienced that in years.
Were there any other sort of moments since you've recovered where you've kind of gone, wow, this is like, this is really happening?
All the time.
Yeah.
And there's stupid times, like I said, at the grocery store or at the dentist today.
Yeah.
You said to me the other day, well, you don't really know how that's going to go because you have a new body now.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that at the dentist today, because they were asking me, questions about my previous dental care and how I respond and so forth. And I said to myself, oh, this is a whole new body. I don't know how I'm going to respond to anything anymore.
That's right.
Things are going to be different.
Absolutely.
Everything's different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me ask you a bit of an important question, and maybe not so straightforward. Some people, for various reasons, I always say to people, be kind to yourself, and there's this whole balance between responsibility versus self-blame, There is about determination, and then there's about being overzealous. This is all such a balancing act. And, there's some people who, like yourself, who are very fast responders, who have a very rapid recovery, even after long periods, even after severe illness, even after being bedbound,
Right.
And then some people really just takes longer, and recover maybe in 12 to 18 months, sometimes even a little longer. And then there's some people who just don't do so well at all.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts or opinions of what is it? I mean, you've seen people's comments in the program, and you've been working, over 10 years in the community and advocacy. I mean, what do you think is the difference between the people who respond fast in the program and the people who respond slower and the people who don't respond at all?
Well, I've had a few conversations with people about the program, people who are either trying it or considering trying it, and people who've not tried it and didn't know about it. And it's interesting to me to hear the language that people used with ME/CFS and fibromyalgia. And that was one of the things that I changed also that I haven't mentioned. There's a specific language used in the community of chronic disease, and I think it holds us back. And I don't think we even realize the language we use, but it's a lot of focus on the can't and shouldn't and the what if and need to, have to, those kinds of verbiages. And I think those can be very harmful. So I think one of the things that I initiated myself was to watch my language and change the way I speak. And as I talk to people about the program or recovery even, I get a lot of pushback, a lot of skepticism, a lot of, well, I can't because of all these various reasons. And I think it's so easy. We just get sucked into this life of sick. It's a pit. And it's, you become, it defines us, and we're there. And I have a very good friend who was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, at the same time that I was diagnosed, and I feel like we both went into advocacy, and it became our definition of who we are. And I think that's good, but it can be very damaging too. And I think all of us do that. So that's one thing I noticed. I also noticed some people go into this recovery mindset with a very analytical mind, a little too analytical. Like they're going to pick it all apart before they can even start. I'm going to watch all the videos before I apply it, and then I'll go back and start slow, and I'm going to take a bunch of notes. And I didn't do that. I highlighted the book a little bit, and I wrote a few notes, and I did the homework assignments, but I definitely didn't go into it thinking I'm going to memorize this whole thing. And I didn't even want to understand some of it. Some of it I thought, I can't understand what he's saying right now, but I don't think I have to. I don't think it's important. I think that's too much pressure. And you repeat so much and you rephrase so much when it's important that I knew that I'd get it eventually.
Yeah.
So I think that approach is helpful. And I think that's something I learned maybe in college or graduate school, probably graduate school, because there's such a data dump and there's not enough time to do everything. So you have to just start to learn, okay, I'll grab that thing and I'll grab that thing, and those other things may come later.
Yeah, look, I think that is wonderful, wonderful advice, and very, very intuitive. Thank you for sharing that, Claudia. Certainly, I can see that where people want to know, and sometimes I ask them, what is it that you need to know? And they go, actually, I do already know it, I just need to do it.
Yeah.
But they don't often make that until I ask the question. And if they, and they sometimes never get to that point because they never had that conversation with me.
Wow.
And so they are still stuck in, I have to learn it all, and I don't know, and they don't do it,
Yeah.
And
you get paralyzed.
Yeah, what's the saying? Paralysis through analysis, and I think we can all get caught up. It does become our identity, our outlook. It's not. Yeah. I don't think I want people to hear this. People who are in the program or who are not in the program. It's not, oh, this is who you are. It's not blaming you. It's not your fault. Yeah.
No.
I was the same way. Yeah. Right. We can all be like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And you found a way not, and you've, I'm sure, have been the same way too.
Oh, definitely.
But you found a way. You made a choice. This is our power. We can make a choice. You made a choice once you understood why.
Right.
To change how you look, to change your language, and to say, I'm moving forward. And this is why, surprisingly, I find the people sometimes who are the illest or the most down and out sometimes do the best. Because there is that shift through desperation.
Yeah, desperation is a good word.
I will do it. It's a bit like... you know, I had a back problem after CFS, and I'm supposed to do exercises, but what are the exercises going to do? I got problems with my discs, right, and blah 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 blah. And we all have this discussion, and then I got so bad, I couldn't move, I couldn't get off the floor. I was like screaming in agony, you know, and it's like, and then I'm supposed to go and do Pilates. I'm like, exercise, really, that's going to do it? But then there came this point where there was such desperation.
Yeah.
That I was doing it. I didn't like doing it. I didn't enjoy it. It was painful. I've struggled, and I did it. But then suddenly I was doing it every day. Not every day, but I was doing it every time I was supposed to do it, because I felt I had to do it. Like if I don't do this, I don't want to look back at it and say, oh well, you know, did you do it? Absolutely. And are you sure it didn't work? You know. No, I wanted to be able to say yes, I did do it, even if I want to prove that it doesn't work.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but I wanted to at least do it, you know. And I've actually met people who've recovered from CFS and fibromyalgia who went to prove that something doesn't work, but not in a way of doing it to sabotage themselves. They actually did do it fully. It wasn't ANS REWIRE, it was other recovery strategies. And they did it, and they recovered, you know. And
that's great. I love that.
And so it doesn't matter what your reason is, but we've got to find a way to shift our focus. And I love your whole discussion about the worlds, the sick world, the healthy world, and the focus. And it's not that it's in your head or positive thinking will make you well, and you know, but it's like anything hard you want to achieve in life, you're not going to do it focusing on the negative outcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where you put your energy is where you go.
You're not going to, you know, get grades to make it in, go to college or something like that. If you keep thinking, I can't learn, I'm not good at getting good grades, blah 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 blah. You got to talk it up. Yeah.
Right.
You're not going to go do well in sport if you keep saying, but you know, I'm not a good runner. I can't run. The way my legs are, they're too short. I've got problems with my knees. You know, you got to say, I can do it. You got to find a way around it. Yeah.
Right.
And I think the psychological side, you know, what we're doing here is we're doing the most amazing thing. Yeah.
Oh,
I believe that you are one of the most inspirational people I will ever speak to in my life. And I'm lucky I get to speak to many people like that. Yes, because I meet many people who recover. But it doesn't take it away from how amazing it and how rare that is. And it's not rare as in, oh, you are a person, you know, that is, no one else can be like that. No.
Right.
But it's like you've stepped up to the plate. You know? You've stepped up to the plate and you've done it. You know?
Yeah.
And my message is, we can all step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we need something more. Mm-hmm. And I find there's two reasons why people want to recover. One is to get away from the suffering. The suffering. There's so much, and people just don't get how bad it is. That's a great motivator. And sometimes when that is bad enough, that really pushes us forward. But I find that we also need a go-to goal. You know, we need something, a reason to do it. You know.
Yeah.
Do you think that was that you had that there was a big go-to reason for you?
Yeah, I think my parents' death was a catalyst for me. I just felt my mortality was on the front burner, and I just couldn't fathom, you know, I'm going to be 60 in a year and a half. And I kept thinking, not even a year and a half, I kept thinking, I don't want to be an elderly person with this disease. I can't do this for another 30 years. I can't do this for another 10 years. I just can't. My whole life has gone by and I've been a sick person. I don't want that. I need to change this.
Yeah.
I just felt this urgency. I can't explain it any further. And I have to say, I have been practicing a lot of different sort of spiritual things lately too, over the last, say, 10 years, listening to a lot of different teachers, spiritual teachers, and things related to meditation and Buddhism and that sort of motivational style, and talking about going inward and learning about yourself more. And I think all of that really had a big impact on me opening up to the idea of recovering, but also being able to accept where I was with my disease, because I had not done that before. I thought I was accepting the fact that I had this disease, this chronic illness, but I was fighting against it all the time. And the push-crash cycle was evidence that I was not accepting it. So I think that was a key component too, was being able to sit down and say, look, this is where I am right now. It sucks big time, but this is the reality of my life. And I don't like it. It's not what I want. Obviously, because I keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
The fact that I'm pushing is demonstrating the fact that I want to bust through the door. I don't like this door.
But do you say acceptance? Like you said acceptance. What does that mean? I mean, does it mean that you give in? Does it mean you just...
No.
What does it mean?
It means I understand and I see clearly that this is my starting point.
Yeah.
It's my jumping off point.
Yeah.
And I will not fight against it, but I will take the steps necessary to make a change.
So it's about respecting it, isn't it?
Definitely.
Respect your current reality, connect with it.
Yeah.
But change how you relate to it. And have a view that it will change going forward.
You know what? Now that you say it, it was a lot like the labeling of pain without the emotion. It's just another sensation. The same. It is the reality. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to describe it. I'm not going to place negativity with it. It just is what it is. It is where I am.
Is there anything I forgot to ask? Anything else you want to say?
I'm just so excited. I feel like, wow, this was right with me this whole time and I didn't know it. Oh my gosh. But there were necessary steps that I had to take and paths I had to follow to get here.
Yeah.
Just like there was to get sick, right?
Yeah.
And so the unraveling of it is beautiful, and I can't wait to see where I am a year from now, because it's wide open, and I just, it's wonderful. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Every day is great.
Fantastic.
And for people to say, how are you? And for me to actually say, I feel great, it's wonderful every time.
Yes. And look, what's a parting message you have to anyone listening to the interview today?
Gosh, I'd say put down your weapons, put down your shields, open up, consider the option of recovery, that it's viable, and listen to some recovery videos. Try it, just try it. Read the book. If it makes sense, go forward.
Yeah. And look, I want to add to that, there's many paths. You don't have to do ANS REWIRE. But open yourself up to the possibility that there is a path for you. Yeah. And if ANS REWIRE can be part of that, great. But if it's another path, also great. Come and tell me all about it. And I love sharing all the stories,
Yeah, just be open to the idea of even life after, right?
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank you, Dan. I can't say thank you enough for, I don't know how you did it, really, honestly. I think about how sick you must have been, and with no outside support, and you just must be a brilliant mind, because you nailed it. And I don't know how you managed. You incorporated, and the more I experience out there, the more I realize, he might have pulled some of that, and he might have pulled some of that, and all these different components that you put together to make this program. It's magnificent, and you're changing people's lives for the better, and I think that's just wonderful. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. That's very kind, and I guess my answer would be that I was probably one of those skeptical people that you were mentioning earlier who sabotage themselves, and
I guess that's a good driver.
I was a good driver. I literally didn't want to ever do anything unless it made sense of why, and that drove me to abandon all these ideas out there and just I needed to find something that made sense and explained it and pulled it all together. And without that, I wasn't prepared to do anything ever again.
Wow, well, it's amazing to me, and you motivate me and inspire me, and I hope I can find my niche soon.
I'm sure. I think you're on your way already. So look, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really awesome to see you have your life back, and thank you for sharing your story and inspiring others.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome.